Now, the gross domestic product, or GDP, of Lagos State has hit $259 billion based on what you call the purchasing power parity, or PPP. And that places Lagos State as the second largest economy on the continent, and trailing only behind Cairo, the Egyptian capital. And this was made known yesterday during the official launch of the Lagos Economic Development Update 2025 in Nigeria's Commercial Center. Besides, it showed that the Lagos economy recorded significant growth in the first half of 2024, expanding to 27.38 trillion naira, a substantial increase from 19.65 trillion back in 2023. Now, this growth highlighted the resilience of Nigeria's commercial capital amid economic reforms and ongoing infrastructure investments, although the tax-to-GDP ratio remained low at 2.3%, reflecting the need for enhanced revenue mobilization efforts. Now, delivering the keynote address titled Bridging the Revenue Gap in Lagos, Innovative Paths to Enhance Revenue Mobilization, the chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, emphasized the need for Lagos to increase its revenue generation to match its economic ambitions. According to Taiwo Oyedele, Lagos is big, but its revenue is small, collecting less than 2% of its GDP. While some progress has been made, we still have a big room for improvement, and the time to change this narrative is now, according to Taiwo Oyedele, end of quote. He also highlighted 3 key strategies for Lagos to improve revenue collection, including property taxation, expansion of personal income tax base, particularly by leveraging technology to capture high-income earners, and tax harmonization. According to Taiwo, he says a better approach to taxation is not to tax the seed, but the fruit. Let businesses grow and tax them fairly on their successes, he stated. Now, with the right reforms, Lagos can generate up to 5 trillion naira annually in internally generated revenue. Our Rice business analyst Chika Mbonu is here live in the Rice, as always, in the morning on GBR. Good morning.
Morning, brother.
Let's have a handshake to this huge, as Lagosians. That's our GDP.
Eko Nibaje.
Eko Nibaje. That's our GDP.
That's our GDP.
That's our GDP.
But be careful that some people who may just stop using this hour anyhow, because some people may just say they are not Lagosian.
These are GDP. Yeah. I live in Lagos. I work in Lagos, so that's my GDP. That's my productivity.
And just it's Lagos GDP where we live. That's how I can put it.
Okay.
When you start using our now, some people just think that.
Okay. Let's have it on the table. This is Lagos. So, what are the key drivers? What do you think the key drivers are?
I think that. A lot of times, for me, I want to focus on what could be.
Rather than what it is.
What it is. What could be is that Lagos as it is today with this GDP can actually be twice that. And so while we commend the government, and the political side for the kind of work they've been doing to push this GDP growth, we also want to say that there's so much room for improvement. Now, you heard what Taiwo Oyedele said, that Lagos is capable of at least 5 trillion naira revenue annually, because of this. Because I was, last time I traveled, I met some people who, you're from Nigeria, I say yes. But they came to Lagos and said, what are your first impressions about Lagos? And they said, oh, the traffic. The traffic. So, sometimes we don't understand the quantum of GDP that is lost.
In time spent in
vehicular traffic.
Standing at the bus stops. Trying to catch a bus.
Standstill traffic, going to work in the morning, closing the work.
During lunchtime
as well. And so I know the government has this multimodal plan, transport plan, to, make sure that Lagos is covered on the road,
on the tracks,
by the water, on the rail tracks. Yeah. Even airport, because of the Lekki second airport now.
Yes.
There are plans in place.
And the Fourth Mainland Bridge.
And the Fourth Mainland Bridge.
Yeah.
All those to open up Lagos, but that continues to be a major problem. I have on this program, commended Lagos State government. If you ask. For me, if I'm assessing this, this is what they use buzz around Nigeria called democracy dividends. One of the number one democratic dividends for those who live in the Festac, Amuwo-Odofin axis is the blue line. Blue Line. A lot of people who come to work, Marina, who come to shop in the Idumota and Balogu, that has saved them at least 50% of the transport costs.
To Benin Republic.
Benin Republic.
Yes.
So now the red line is also working now. So again, I remember one time I appealed to the governor. I said, please, can you just moderate on the transport fare? And so that more people can afford it.
On board.
I think he acquiesced to that, So getting the transport movement right in Lagos is very important too. That GDP will move up by at least 25%. From also a lot of figures, I think Lagos. You see, when Lagos catches cold, Nigeria will sneeze.
Yes.
Nigeria is about 30% of our Nigerian GDP. Lagos State.
So Lagos belongs to all of us.
Lagos, so it's a melting point. Remember that word, the dirty December. Remember it was.
Who really coined that, by the way? I haven't really found out.
It has to do with the word, another play on the word dirty. They read dirty, and then people enjoying their life, exuberantly. That's the play on that. So we'll comment that Lagos can be more than twice what it is now if a lot of the limiting factors are reduced. We'll comment the government on the red line, comment on the blue line. We'll hear also talking about the green line. Now, the issue, I want to ask you, is do you know that I have taken a water boat from the American Embassy up to Badagry before?
From the waterfront?
The waterfront there.
Down the road.
You can actually, Lagos water transport system is another area that has not been pushed really. Because
to the limit
for
revenue generation.
Revenue generation and
boost the
GDP. So the limiting factors that are prevent people from doing that, they have to.
So you think there are a few policies that need to change to attract investments into this
Lagos reminds me of Freetown.
Okay.
I went to Freetown. I spent some time in Freetown, and Freetown is like Lagos without the Tomeland Bridge or the Eko Bridge. So you have the mainland and the island, where the connectivity is just by boats. And
even the airport is just on the water.
It's on the water. So you see the boats there are a little luxurious. They're not this one engine that you see here. Some of them are like two engines. You enter there, you be watching television, all covered up, and that. So I think that
have some coffee,
people
whatever.
Exactly. People can be encouraged to use the water transport.
You want the ones that can have some snookers, playing snookers from Lagos to Badagry.
Exactly.
Play snookers.
Yes, and you do that.
And then you can. Do you think so Lagos can get DP World, for example, from Dubai and a few others
That's so much opportunity. So much to do here. The most important, as I said, for Nigeria in culture, in everything. Literally, this is the Nigeria.
2% GDP tax. Let's move on. It's quite really.
I mean, that's
at the bottom of
that's very low.
Because for a 259,
a lot of it also had to do with how to tax the informal sector
in Lagos.
Not only Lagos, Nigeria.
And the informal sector in Lagos is huge.
It's huge. So out of the GDP we have, about 6% of it is from services.
Okay.
Manufacturing, manufacturing is about 30 or 30% of agriculture.
The services, the telcos, the banks.
So you will find again that all the services require power, infrastructure. They rely so much on that, and if those things work, you can imagine the salutary impact it will have on the GDP and on the economy as a whole.
For those of you with very huge real estate on the island, Taiwo is asking for a bigger property tax on you.
Remember, tax is defined as is a government share in your business for providing you the amenities, making life easier for you. So if water works, if power works, if the roads work, that's safety. People are willing to pay for that. That's what it is. So not this one that you call us band A, and they are giving us band D light, and then you're charging us band A rates. So those kind of things should work. I mean, I will give anything to give up the 3 generators I have, the diesel dumps I have, just to have power. I'll pay anything.
Would you support luxury tax in Lagos?
I mean, but the issue is tax. Remember the issues of tax. I'm not talking about tax now. It should be fair and equitable.
No, it's understandable.
Fair and equitable.
There are so many.
And for value driven.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean,
luxury tax.
The message there is there's still more opportunity for Lagos to capture revenues into the system, and then of course on that basis deliver more. There's so many I commend the government. There's too many road work as you go around. Lagos is almost like a construction site. There's so many going. Remember the flood again, the flood issues.
Oh, yeah, the rainy season is almost here.
Yeah, so that's a major thing, a major challenge. A lot of the problems in Lagos are problems of Nigeria, but there are some that are more specific to Lagos. And we commend the government and encourage them to continue to face those challenges.
Oh, do you think there are key challenges that can stop Lagos from achieving its full potential?
Lagos is substantially secure, so we don't really have a problem there. The issues that limit Lagos, as I've mentioned, are how do you solve the transport thing? It needs a journeys in Lagos that should take you 1 hour. Sometimes can take you the whole day. You can imagine how unproductive that can be. You know, I fear going for meetings sometimes in the mainland because you have to dedicate the whole day for it. So it's very unproductive.
And that's not good enough.
And then with the cost of petrol and everything, driving and everything. So train, the train system needs to work and works better. I commend the government. The red line is getting off. We
should do more. And perhaps the cable car, down the line, some years down the line. It's nice having you here, digesting our $259 billion budget.
Thank you.
I'm going to take that cautionary.
Thank you.
Thank you.